Hey, how's it going? Today I'm talking about how do you even know what strength exercises to do?
This is Running to the Castle, a podcast for injury-prone Run Disney runners on a journey to running magical miles. Join me, Dr. Allie, as I share the secrets I've gathered as a runner, doctor of physical therapy, and coach. You'll learn the exact ways I get my clients to the castle strong without feeling broken or held together with KT tape as they cross the finish line.
When thinking about strength exercises to do as a runner, you want to hit all major muscle groups in the legs, core, and arms. Many runners make the mistake of doing exercises that make them feel like they're working the area that's injured. This is a mistake for two reasons. If you're only targeting the area that hurts, you can be overloading it even more and making the problem worse. And second, you aren't getting a well-rounded strength routine. You've heard me say that you shouldn't just do squats and lunges if you have knee pain, as an example. And the biggest reason is because pain doesn't equal weakness. So just because you have knee pain, let's say you have pain in the front of your knee, it doesn't mean that spot is weak. The tendon in the front of your knee, where your kneecap is called your quad tendon, your quadriceps tendon. It's also called the patellar tendon to be more specific. This is a common spot for pain to happen in runners, and it's often called runner's knee and patellofemoral pain syndrome. One of the problems with focusing on more exercises that bend and straighten the knee for runner's knee is runner's knee is caused by overuse, overtraining, and overloading the patellar tendon. So when you add more exercises that strengthen the patellar tendon, you're actually overusing it more, overtraining it more, and overloading it more, which will make the problem worse because that's where the problem stemmed from in the first place. Someone with runner's knee often has an ache in the shape of a C or a U in the front of their knee, and it starts after a particularly long run. And then it progresses to also having happened at the end of a short run. And then when you're sitting at the movies and standing in a long line and going up and down stairs. It's often caused by weakness, not in the quads, not in the patellar tendon, not in the knee area at all, but instead weakness in another area, like the calf muscles or the glutes. So adding more squats and lunges definitely won't make the runner's knee better if it's from calf weakness. Now, of course, you've heard me say that the strength exercises won't make it pain-free anyway. It won't help the pain anyway. That's a conversation for another day. But if, let's say you do have a handle on the actual pain with your pain management techniques and you want to strengthen so this is prevented in the future, well, if you're strengthening with squats and lunges, but if it's a calf problem, that's certainly not going to help. And it could help a little bit if it's from a glute weakness, but you'd be battling overloading your knees while strengthening your glutes. So that still doesn't work for you because you're still just overloading it more. So then you need to find other exercises that strengthen your glutes if that's the muscle group that you deem is weak, especially after testing. But how do you know what ones to do? What exercises to target the glutes? That's where knowing muscle groups is helpful. That's where a physical therapist really shine because they know muscles, tendons, bones, and joints so well that it's second nature to think of an exercise or a movement that would strengthen that muscle group. Personal trainers are okay at it too, but more so because they've learned what exercises work, what muscle groups. So they'd already have to know the exercise to be able to know that it worked that muscle group. Whereas the physical therapist can think of a movement and go through which muscles are activating and working during that movement. And I know this because in addition to becoming a licensed physical therapist in 2012, I also got certified as a personal trainer in 2021. So I saw how personal trainers were taught. Well, at least the certifying company that I went through, and I saw how different it was from with my physical therapy background. But if you don't know what muscles are working with each exercise, you can also think of what movements happen at each joint. So, as an example, to make sure you're exercising the muscles in your upper arm, you can look at your elbow. What movements does your elbow do? It bends and straightens. So, to make sure you exercise your muscles at your elbow to its full extent, you want to do an exercise or movement that bends the elbow, and you want to do an exercise or movement that straightens the elbow. And you can take this concept and apply it to any joint in your body. You can apply it to your ankle and foot, your knee, your hip, your back. But let's get back to, how do you know what strength exercises you should be doing? You'll want to make sure you're doing exercises that target all major muscle groups and that you're lifting enough weight or resistance to challenge your muscles so you can make progress. You'll figure out which exercises that you want to do, and you'll test your muscle strength with something like the 1 rep max test to know exactly how much to lift. To find those exercises to do, you can list out all major muscle groups in your body or all the movements each joint of your body does, and check off which exercises you're doing that do that for you. Or you could find a coach or a program that does the work for you. Each are valid ways of doing it. It just depends on how much time you have to be able to figure it out all on your own. If you want to learn more about strength training as an injury-prone runner and know how to figure out what exercises to do by the muscle groups or the directions, how much to lift, and how to organize that and schedule it around your runs, I'm hosting a free workshop, Strength Training for Injury-Prone RunDisney Runners, on March 5th. Click the link in the show notes to register. If you've ever wondered, what exercises should I do for my runner's knee, IT band, Achilles, plantar fasciitis, shin splints, I invite you to join me on a free workshop, Strength Training for Injury-Prone RunDisney Runners. In this workshop, you will learn exactly what exercises to do for your injury, how much weight to actually use so that you make progress without flaring up the injury, and overall how to coordinate this and still run at the same time. If you're interested in that, I'm hosting this free workshop March 3rd at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Go ahead and sign up at the link in the show notes. As always, thanks so much for listening. That's all for now. Talk to you soon.